Hey, Heather.
Hey, Steven.
You know what we should do?
What should we do?
You know what we should do?
Ooh, say it.
We should get into it! That's Heather.
That's Steven.
Let's get into
conspiracy theories.
Mysterious.
Oh my God. I don't know about you, Steven. I love a juicy conspiracy theory.
I also love a conspiracy theory because
Cheers.
just the amount of nonsense that comes from it. But before we get started, Heather,
Yes.
how's your week been? What has been your high and what has been your low?
Okay, so I've had a good week so far. I would say the highlight of my week was Sunday because Sunday, I had to go to church with my mom.
Oh no, spend time with your family.
But I will say, like, for those who've never been to, our dog of the pod Q is ravaging the room for snacks, apparently. Anyway, have you ever been to a Black Baptist church service?
Only for your dad's funeral.
That doesn't count.
No.
So we need to take you to a good Black church service because according to Jason, husband of the pod and the video, he grew up Catholic, and I've been to a couple Catholic services, like the christening of his goddaughter and stuff, and it's very like, we're going to get on our knees, we're going to sing.
Up, down, up, down, up, down,
songs.
sing, up, down,
Right?
up, down, sing. 4 hours later. Have you ever been to a Catholic wedding?
Yes, that
Days long.
was actually the first time I ever went to a Catholic church was for a wedding, and I was like, this is wild. And so with Black Baptist churches, the music is absolutely most of the time it's incredible, but if you have a choir that like can't sing or a bad soloist, it just no.
Hey, little light of mine.
But yeah, so we did that Sunday, and then I went out for Mexican with my mom and my brother, and it was really good. And then I spent time with you and my friend Siobhan and CJ and Michael, and we went to karaoke at the good old Southern Nights.
Yeah, that was
It
a
was
good
fun.
time.
It was good. And then I went home and I watched my trash reality shows on Zeus, and I went to bed. I was very proud of myself. Yeah, it was good times.
What would have been your low? Was low the church? Like, what's the
No.
low?
I would say, what would I say would be the low? I had to drive on my way to work the other day. Literally every single car I was in front of was going like 30 miles under the speed limit. I couldn't get around them. And I was like,
You're allowed to kill them, though, right?
I know.
Like,
I was so full of rage. I was like, go. And it would be like the street that I live off of, the speed limit's 25. But let's be honest.
nobody goes 25.
Nobody goes 25. This person had to been going, I kid you not, I remember looking at my speedometer and it said like 15 miles an hour. And you can't get around because it was too busy. Oh my God. So I would say traffic woes this week were like my low. But what about you? What was the highlight of your week? It's Wednesday. Oh yeah.
I'm going to start with the low.
Yeah,
of
let's start.
my
We'll
week.
reverse it. What was the low of your week?
The
Steven?
low of my week is having to drink a gallon of something called Go Lightly.
Holly Go Lately?
No, there was nothing Holly about this.
Do you know what that's from?
I do not.
My Fair Lady.
Oh, that's why I don't know. For those who don't know, Go Lightly is a prep for a colonoscopy.
Why would they call it Go Lately? knowing that it's like
I
Holly Go
literally told the person today, I said, you guys need to change the name to either Go Aggressively or Go Chaotically because there was nothing lightly about anything that happened the past 2
And we don't
weeks.
mean to brag or anything, but both of us have now had colonoscopies.
It's not something to brag about.
Oh, wait till you turn 40,
But if
kids.
you want wallets or 4x7s of my colon, I have them available. I didn't think I was going to get them, and I made like a joke about it, but I got them.
I can't.
I will say the high is kind of like a mix of the low into the high.
Yeah.
Is because I had been so malnourished
Yes.
waiting
Oh, I bet
for
that pizza was good.
this. Well, no, I was like waiting for. It's not even the pizza. It's not the pizza.
Oh, okay.
It was. I hadn't had food like a full meal since Saturday night. My colonoscopy was on a Tuesday
Ooh, a
afternoon,
Tuesday.
so that's a long time to go without food.
It is.
And only a little bit of water. I wasn't allowed to take my meds on the day of.
Yeah, same.
Which can really mess me up. But as a result, I got to sleep 13 and a half hours straight. And I haven't done that since college. And it was glorious.
I think the last time I slept 13 and a half hours was when I had food poisoning. I had a really bad bout of food poisoning, and I was just like, I literally remember, like, you know how it is when you have food poisoning? You just like, like take
Give
me
up on
now,
life?
Lord.
Yeah, like
Take me now, please. Take me to the
deliver
water.
us.
I listen to that musical all the time. But anyway, and I totally forgot what we were just talking about. And I have not even partaken in any sort of mind-altering substances. I really haven't.
There's a glass of wine right there. And
There
you've already
is.
This is your third one. I don't know why
It's
you're
my
talking
first
about.
one, Steven.
Oh, it's your first glass because you
in
haven't
dog
broken the actual.
years. Thank you. Anyway, I don't remember what I was going to say. It had something to do with the colonoscopy. Oh, no, sleeping. Yeah.
Sleeping.
So food poisoning, it was awful. And so I was like, I'm just going to nap and see if I don't vomit while I nap. And that was on a Friday night, and I woke up on Sunday morning. I missed a whole day Saturday. I slept through I think I kind of like woke up once and saw the time, and I was like, oh, it's probably like, it's still Friday night. That was the only time I've ever like missed a day sleeping. It was wild.
I love and hate that because you get rest, but at the same time you miss an entire day. You're like,
A whole day.
what if I missed a funny meme?
I know.
Like,
But I
what
also was
if-
18, so it was during the Civil
God,
War.
That was
It was during the Civil War.
1824. Jesus
like-
Christ, that doesn't count.
Who won the war, Abraham? So
I don't think he really won at the end.
no.
I mean, he did a good job, but then
no. Abraham
don't
Lincoln
go to the
bodyguard.
theater.
Don't go to the theater, Lincoln. So speaking of, I don't know why I said speaking of Lincoln, because there's probably a conspiracy theory.
Oh,
in somewhere.
there's actually a huge conspiracy that Lincoln was actually a homosexual.
I've
and
heard that
he
before. Yes, I've heard that.
That's why I think they call them the log cabin Republicans or like gay Republicans because of Lincoln or something like that. Or that could just have been an episode on American Dad. I'm not entirely sure.
I have heard that there were
But
rumors he was
he was a
he
homosexual.
was, you know.
So, but Heather, do you have a famous? Did you just do the wrist?
I did.
The wrist, you know, that's like the
Is
most
he,
insultive thing
it's
you could do to a
so
homosexual. It's like, is he, like it's like this one time. This is gonna be bad, but my neighbors years ago moved in after their grandmother died, and they ended up being meth heads. And then knocked on the door at 1:00 in the morning and kept flipping her wrist at us in that, gay fashion. It was like, we heard the neighbors all love you. They think you're fabulous. And that rip kept flat. And she was like, can we have your Wi-Fi password? And we're like, absolutely not.
And then she died.
No, not yet. And then she came back an hour later, asked for a rake, and then a couple of months later she died. But anyway.
She asked for a rake and then
She
died.
did, but they were like,
What a way to go out.
who's going to do the lawn at 3:00 in the morning?
Listen, when
We
when
thought giving them a tequila shot and sending them their way would have done it, but it did.
when you gotta rake leaves, you gotta rake leaves. It doesn't matter what time of day it is.
I don't know if it was to rake their leaves
It
or their
probably
pock
wasn't.
faces, like, let me get
God.
my...
Okay, so conspiracy theories.
So do you have a favorite?
I mean, I would say the one that has really been on the forefront of my mind recently, and it's because somebody brought up that they're building a Margaritaville, or I think it's already built, on this particular body of water. But the conspiracy theory right now that's fascinating me the most is Lake Lanier in Georgia. So for those who don't know, Lake Lanier, it was a town in Georgia, or it was a town called Oscarville in Georgia. And so Oscarville was a blend of people. It was white people and black people, but it was a really flourishing black community, which it was in I want to say 1910s, 1920s. So it was really flourishing and really, it was kind of rare back then for black people to own their own businesses and do all these incredible things. So they had this really flourishing town, but then a white woman died, and they accused some of the black residents. I mean,
Copy and paste that story to how many
oh
other?
my God, so many others. Yeah. So they eventually chased all the black people out of the town, and they flooded out the town. So all of these black people who had set up homes there and done everything.
That's the lake that has all the houses under that still...
Not houses, but there's cemeteries that they flooded over, and the government says that they exhumed all the bodies. Like back then they were like, yep, we got all the bodies out,
We know
everybody's
that's a lie.
rehomed. Complete lie. They did a dive, like somebody did a dive down there, I can't remember the year, but anyway, they did a dive and they found like tombstones and all these things. And so ever since that happened, there's been, I want to say like 200 deaths. Hold on, I have notes, friends. Here we go. So according to this, more than My phone is like, no, ma'am, not right now. Okay. So 200 people have died at Lake Lanier between 1994 and 2022. 200 people.
From
And
boating accidents?
mostly drowning.
or
And I watched
Drowning like from swimming or falling out of boats or
a little bit of both. And I watched a special about this on Netflix last week. And they interviewed a girl who was like, I'm a skeptic. I don't believe in the supernatural. I don't believe in anything.
And she's dead.
She was a ghost. No, she said she was swimming and she felt someone pulling at her ankle as she was swimming in Lake Lanier. And like multiple people have said they felt like
That's an
ankles
episode, Are You
pulls.
Afraid of the Dark?
It really is. But just the conspiracy theories behind it. And during that same Netflix special that I watched, they interviewed a man, a Caucasian man, and he was like, I've swam to the bottom. I've done all these things. There is nothing left of Oscarville there. And it's like, sir,
They didn't move the bodies.
they didn't move the bodies.
They didn't move the bodies.
And so if you, dear listeners, or even you, if you haven't looked into it, like the history, have you,
I
feel like you've
I've
heard about it?
heard this story because there's more than one of like cities being basically turned into lakes
Mhm.
that still have like untouched buildings underneath.
Yes.
And there has been an astronomical
There was a
amount
movie.
of deaths.
There was a movie about it because now that you're saying houses, I swear I remember a movie about a town, like they had the houses and then like water flooded. I need to like look it up after, but I swear I remember a movie about that. But yeah, Lake
So-
Lanier has been like the hot one right now.
So what makes you think it's a conspiracy and not real?
Because a lot of people
Or who thinks it's a conspiracy and that
Yes.
it's not real?
So people who are, more kind of like on the realist side are like, oh, there's no hauntings. People are drowning on their own will because they're drunk or they're
On
bad
their own-
swimmers.
I give up. Bye.
Bye.
I'm
And
going down. I'm yelling. Now you talk.
anyway, so many people are like, oh, it's not real. It's people making things up. So it's a very split thing. And unfortunately, it's like almost a racial divide because if you ask pretty much any black person about Lake Lanier, the first thing is like, oh, hell no. And I saw this TikTok earlier today where this guy was like, all right, so as a black person, here's the 3 places I won't go. Lake Lanier, and Lake Lanier. I know, it made me laugh really hard. So yeah, it's unfortunately kind of like a racial divide thing, but at the end of the day, it's a horrible thing that happened. They've never reconciled it. And they built a Margaritaville water park
Ew.
on Lake Lanier a couple years ago, like pretty recently. And I haven't heard of anything happening there, but it's why would you build a water park knowing the history of it just gives me, I'm literally,
Because it's cheap real estate.
it is very cheap
Like,
real estate, yes.
honestly, like
Yeah, but it's a whole thing. Like I honestly didn't hear about Lake Lanier until probably like 2 or 3 years ago. And so I'm like making up for it now. I feel like I should have known about it, and I never did. But
oops.
yeah. So that's kind of like my hot one right now. What about you? What is a conspiracy
Oh my
theory
God.
that's like getting under your skin and
There-
keeping you up
oh,
at
it's
night?
not anything that's getting underneath my skin. It's something that I find absolutely hilarious. And we joke about it all the time at my
Oh,
day
God.
job. It
Yes.
is flat earthers. Oh, my God.
Now you don't believe the Earth is flat, do you?
No, God, no. But one of my friends at work pretends, and she calls me a globy. And I'm like, Kennedy, no, honey, sweetheart. And she's like, that's what globies say. And she has an answer for everything, but it doesn't make any goddamn sense. So, my funniest thing is that when you see because I occasionally look on Reddit and
Yes.
stuff, and I've even made a logo for her, that's flat earther, but it's like, yes, flat earthers all around the globe. And I'm like, sir, what shape do you think a globe is?
And it's like not only that, it's like I've read that flat earthers think that the picture we all see of the Earth in its spherical form, they think it's doctored. They're like, it's
Yeah.
not. And it's like, come on, like if the
It's-
Earth was flat, you would
We-
be able to stand
Where's
at
the edge? Where's the edge?
Thank you.
Oh no, there's a barrier on the edge.
the
That's
edge.
weird. So how come as far as we dig down, we never find the bottom?
Never.
Like we
Ever.
never find the bottom. And why are they all so obsessed with oh, the moon is round, Saturn's round? You know what I just realized today or heard today on a TikTok? Honestly, this is a total side note.
Oh, Lord.
And biblically, how Jesus gave himself to the stars or whatnot.
Yes.
Do you know what Saturn's ring is supposed to represent?
Like a purity ring, like the Jonas Brothers?
No, his foreskin. Jesus' foreskin.
And that's
Unless
a
I
wrap for
misheard
this
that.
podcast. Good night.
But anyway, like
What?
the funniest thing. It
where
was
did
from,
you
it
hear
was from
that?
Like, TikTok, and it was like somebody like doing a question and answer game show type of thing or whatnot. But
I have literally never heard that. in
yeah,
my
me
entire
neither.
life.
Of
And
course,
I work for NASA as a scientist, and I've
and
never heard
I
that.
wrote the Bible.
Speaking of the Bible, so as we were doing research for this podcast, because we are true consummate professionals,
You can tell by the amount of wine you drink.
so I had on my list, because I have like a list of conspiracy theories. One of them, I was like, does Noah's Ark count as a conspiracy theory?
It must.
Because I will sometimes wake up in the middle of the night and Mom, if you listen to this, I'm so sorry. I love you. Noah's Ark could not have happened. It just could not have happened.
No shit, Sherlock.
And it's like, if you think about it.
My favorite, though, is when
Yes.
they show depictions and it's two male lions walking up the ramp together. I'm like, bitch, where did these kids come from?
I know. It's like, how did you? Okay, so think about
And
it.
why did the unicorns drown?
Or the
And why did the birds
Where are the
have to like?
dinosaurs?
Why did the birds have to go up there? They can fucking fly.
And were ants on there? Termites?
They must have been
Dust
cockroaches,
mites?
spiders. God damn you!
Snakes?
You left that brown
Giraffes?
recluse on there. Well, there's always giraffes, Mary.
Every
Like they had
breed
to
of
swim
dog?
over the ocean to get to the ark, but
Every
their
breed
long
of
legs.
cats, jungle animals,
Oh my
forest
God,
animals,
lemurs. What are those little
Capybaras?
those little
spiders,
what do they call them? Like
praying mantis,
no, it's like
walking
a little
sticks? Crabs.
not
hermit crabs, lobster,
like a glide squirrel, kind of like
flying squirrel, sugar glider.
a sugar glider.
Oh,
Yeah, like
yeah.
sugar glider. I never saw them depicted anywhere. Where were they?
Yeah, y'all. I listen. We are not trying to denounce anyone's beliefs. However,
I might be,
the
but
logic,
that's my beliefs.
the logic of Noah's Ark, it's just not. It's not a thing.
And my favorite thing is like everybody's pro-life. I'm like, didn't he famously flood the earth?
Flooded the
except
whole earth.
for Noah, like 4
The
people and
whole
2 of
earth.
every animals. Like, so how pro-life could he be?
So does that mean that technically we could be like related because of, are we descendants of Noah?
I mean, we're basically look the same, so we probably are.
I'm sorry, I sidetracked from your original
You know-
conspiracy theory, but Noah's Ark was actually on my list, and I was like, that was a perfect. You literally just like threw the home run at me. I was like,
See, if I was raised Noah, I'd have better facial hair. Like, because right now this is already like 6 days of not shaving, and there's barely fuzz here. And I'm a 40-year-old man, and that's not acceptable.
how do they fit giraffes on the Ark?
They duck their head and they go to like the top floor. Like, what do you think? It's like
Ducks?
one flat boat. Like,
well, what about ducks? Fish? Goldfish?
see,
House
here,
fish?
okay. So here's the thing: is those fucking fish
Yeah.
are still out there? Nothing killed them.
That's true.
So then, why didn't they
They were
like take over the
thriving.
world?
That's true.
I mean, I kind of think they did because we saw that episode of The Simpsons where the dolphins all took over the thing. I digress. I hate fish.
Yeah, where were I guess dolphins were like in the water.
Along with the dinosaurs, because
Killer whales,
we
orcas.
Oh my God, them attacking boats recently.
Oh.
Hilarious.
They have PTSD
Also, I do
from Noah's
not
Ark.
want to get in the water.
No, I agree. I will not. I'll do a pool, but the ocean
there's so
belongs
much-
to the creatures.
It's so much undiscovered. There's so much down there that we don't know. Like dinosaurs could legit be at the bottom of the ocean. We have no way of getting there.
Dinosaurs could also be in space. You never know.
I would like
They
to think
could.
they are with like fancy little space helmets
They
and
probably
going
run whole
around. The
civilizations.
T-Rex is still trying to hit the stop button and he can't reach.
Oh my God.
Which is why they're still going around and haven't stopped again because his little hand can't hit the stop button.
Okay, so we've talked about Lake Lanier. We've talked about flat Earth. Can I tell you what my other conspiracy theory is?
Absolutely.
So we're probably going to run through a lot of these and just kind of casually talk about it. But the one that I kind of wanted to do a little dive into, and I was on the fence if I wanted to say this one, but it's been one that I've always kind of thought about. And, actually, you know what? Should we save it? We have an Orlando true crime episode coming up. Should we save it for that?
No. Let's
Okay,
go.
we'll do it now.
Let's go.
Okay.
We have
So-
so many true crimes from Orlando.
Right. So true crime aficionados, especially if you live in the Central Florida area, you know about the disappearance of Jennifer Kesse. And it was essentially, for those who don't know, she was a woman in her 20s who lived in Orlando. She did not show up to work one day, and they found her car like in an apartment parking lot somewhere over by the Millennia area. For those who don't live in Orlando, Millennia is our big fancy mall that is a little bit outside of the tourist area.
Fancy.
Like, but it has like Louis Vuitton and Louis Vuitton.
You can have money but not be fancy.
That
I'm
is
sorry.
true. You're right.
Yeah,
That is
it's
very
also
true.
next to a Target and IKEA.
Yeah, that's so. Well,
And,
we're about to come back to that IKEA.
in one of those BurgerFi places. Like,
Yes,
come on.
Shake Shack, yeah. So, so Jennifer Kesse went missing. They still to this day have never found her, and I think she disappeared in like 2006, 2007.
It's been a while.
Yeah, and so, her parents have actively still been looking for her for all of these years. And I believe the one thing they have not done, which a lot of people surprisingly do when their relatives go missing, is they have not contacted a medium. And you see in a lot of missing people
That we know of.
that we know, very true. But a lot of missing persons cases, when people get desperate and like they have nowhere else to go, they'll turn to a medium. So I don't believe they've ever gone to a medium. But I am of the firm belief that she is no longer with us, and I think that her body was left. The rumor, the conspiracy theory, I should say, is that she's underneath IKEA. And I will not disclose the two people who told me two separate ghost stories on two separate occasions. The first weird Jennifer Kesse story is that a friend of ours, a very, very, very dear friend who we love very much, was working for IKEA. And when they would open the store in the morning on the bottom floor of IKEA, there were, and to provide some context, this IKEA that we're talking about was literally across the street from the apartment complex where she went missing from. So,
And right next to Millennium Mall.
yeah, right next to the mall. So this friend of ours would open the store in the morning, and on the bottom level there was a section with mirrors. And so one morning he walked by the mirror and he saw the apparition of a woman, and the woman just looked sad, and he was just kind of like, oh shit, that's a ghost.
She needs to make a
That's a ghost.
return.
And it kept happening over and over again. And so this person did not grow up in Orlando, so wasn't really super familiar with the Jennifer Kesse case. But I think on like the 10-year anniversary of her disappearance, they put up a giant billboard near Millennium, and he saw the billboard and like freaked out and was like, that's the girl I see in the mirror at IKEA. And like gave me instant goosebumps. So there's that story.
Yikes on bikes.
The second story is another friend of mine grew up in Mexico, and so he had no idea about Jennifer Kesse, like at all. And he lived in Mosaic, which is the apartment complex she went missing from. So he said that he would get these really weird feelings when he would sleep at night. Whenever it was night, he would feel like this weird presence.
Well, that
And
apartment complex was already weird because I had a friend that lived there, and her apartment was infested with scorpions of all things. Scorpions.
in Florida?
In Florida.
I did
Anyway,
not
keep
even know
going.
we had scorpions in Florida.
Oh, we do. Especially at that apartment complex, unless they were just sent by Jennifer. I don't know.
Except by Jennifer.
She was a Scorpio. Hey, Google, was Jennifer Kesse a Scorpio?
Oh my God.
Hey, Siri.
God. Anyway, second story. So my friend who had no idea about this girl, so he woke up one night and he said he saw, I don't know if it was the first time, but he was like, it was definitely a ghost, and it was a girl in a sweater, and she looked really sad. And he kept seeing her and was like, what the hell is happening? So then he saw, because like her parents always like randomly pop up on the news because they're always just like still looking for her. Yeah. But he saw a picture of her on the news, and she was wearing the same sweater that he saw her in as a ghost. So those stories, like, especially given the two people, like, I know that is not, like, they both are not from Orlando. So it's valid. Like, I fully believe it. So I don't know why they've never thought to look over
Like, they
by
need to do
IKEA.
one of those sonic scanners of underground is what they
know.
need to do. Is
Yeah,
because if it was
just to let
construction
her
person
rest.
or whatnot,
Yeah.
I just threw it down there, because how many stories have we heard where they just try to throw somebody in a construction site or put somebody underneath a current dead body?
Oh my
just
God. Or
to-
like, what's his name? Chris Watts, who put his whole family in like oil tank. Like,
oh
God,
my God.
awful.
They
Awful.
oil or they water tanks?
Water tanks?
I don't
No, I
remember,
think it
but-
was oil. But regardless, that case, Chris Watts, is why I never trust social media. When you see people like extra happy, oh my God, our family's together, we're so happy. Serial killer, friend.
Yeah, you can't be happy.
No, if
You
you're
just
happy,
can't be.
no, you can't. And that
No.
story in particular, because homegirl was trying to make it look like she had the perfect life, and in reality,
But oh god, there's so many people who feel like the need to be like, "Hey, I'm on social media. Look how wonderful my life
Yeah,
is."
no.
And they'll be like, "Hey, okay, we're gonna take this picture. No, take a real smile. No,
Yeah,
show your teeth. No, fix it.
No.
Fix your smiles. Go ahead."
not for
blah.
me.
And they're
Nope.
like, these poor children. There's no, online life is not real.
I don't get
This
it.
is kind of real. Online life is not real. You know how this is real? I'm not wearing eyebrows.
You're not wearing eyebrows.
I'm not. I got tired.
Neither am I. What
Bitch.
is so? All right, I had Lake Lanier, Jennifer Kesse. You talked about flat Earth. What is your other conspiracy theory that you would like to discuss?
Is that Marjorie Taylor Greene is a lizard person from Moscow. Like she
From where?
Moscow.
I thought you said Moscow.
I might have said an accent.
Wisconsin?
I'm not sure. Moscow. There is no way this bitch is a real person.
I don't know.
She's got to be some type of like Russian agent who gets in here because she doesn't make any goddamn sense. She only wants to support Russia propaganda. She is not smart. She is just a stupid. See you next Tuesday. Like,
As much as I would love to believe she's a true lizard person, that would bring my heart so much joy. I
I feel bad for lizards, I guess.
in my 21 years of life, I have run into some wild ass people, like wild, where I'm like, there's no way this person can be a human. And not anybody who I know, because I would never. But just in general in public, like I have encountered people when I was a bartender, when I was a server, like weird ass people. So I can see how she would be a fully formed, defunct human.
No. I have
Isn't
met.
she from Arizona?
No, she's from Georgia.
Okay, so that's
She's
still
the
southern. It's still
representative
hot.
from Georgia.
She's still in a warm
But-
climate, a tropical climate.
No, she's
Oh
from
no,
hell. She's from
Georgia's
hell.
not tropical though.
No, it's not.
What
It
am I
gets
thinking?
snow.
Yeah,
I
it
don't
does.
know.
Oh.
But she's just a stupid dumb bitch who wanted to get like she literally before she got into Congress was chasing down AOC and like speaking through her flap saying things like you need to take off your diaper and come out here and speak, and then has the audacity to go into the House of Representatives and be like we need decorum, and everybody starts laughing at her because she doesn't know what the fuck decorum means.
No, and it's also why I could never be in Senate or the Congress because I would.
Oh my
and
god.
when I say fight people, I'm not talking about like verbally. I would literally like mollywop people.
Do you know that she got into a fight with Lauren Boebert about like
thought they were
how
friends.
No, okay, so here's the thing. On day one, both of them, day one of Joe Biden being into office, I mean like day one. It was
Yeah.
also Marjorie's day one in Congress. They both filed for articles of impeachment, right?
On day
what?
one?
On what? Boy hasn't even opened the front door yet. And then so they get into an argument because Marjorie's like, Lauren, you copied my articles. She's like, I haven't even read your articles. And then apparently she wanted Lauren to like co-sponsor it. She's like, I didn't even read yours. I had my own. And then she's like, well, you're just being a little bitch. And then so after that, she got kicked out of all her committees. And then after like chasing down one of the Parkland survivors, mass shootings, she like, this is
Yeah.
fake. If somebody had a gun, then everybody would still be alive, and like chases down these people, and she's just a horrible human being. Like there's no way that an actual human being could be that awful. But I have seen lizards and snakes and other things just eat things out of the wild without repercussions, so she has to be a lizard people. Like
A lizard people.
a lizard. Well, I haven't seen her genitalia,
Oh God.
so let's make sure she's going to
Please
the right
don't.
lizard bathroom. You
Please
stupid bitch.
Oh my God. I
Sorry.
cannot.
I
You have
hate
a lot
her.
of pent up anger.
I
towards
hate
this
her
woman.
so much.
Well, let me
like
call
she
her, 'cause she
literally.
was gonna be the guest next week,
Let's
so
bring
let me
her the
call
fuck
her.
on. I
Let
would
me call her.
love to talk to her and ask her questions because she just comes. She's the one that said that Jewish space laser started the fires in California. Like she makes no sense whatsoever, and now she's trying to say, like in Ukraine and whatnot, that there's Nazis over there and they're trying to ruin Christianity. Nobody's attacking Christianity. If anything, Christianity's attacking everybody else.
So at the end of the day, this conspiracy theory is that Marjorie Taylor Greene is a lizard person.
Yes, she's got to be. There's no way she's an actual human being.
Put it on the
because
record.
I feel like human beings have something called common sense
Ah!
and empathy and a brain. What is a reptile?
Have you ever been to Walmart on a Saturday morning?
Oh yes, I have. Marjorie checked me out as I was buying things to huff in a paper bag. I guess I
wouldn't know because I do not step foot into grocery stores.
Oh my
Sponsor
God.
us, Instacart, please. I'm serious.
DoorDash.
So what we did was we went on to Facebook, or actually, I posted a status and I texted Steven.
Yeah, take all. I did the
So
research.
we asked our friends about what their favorite conspiracy theories were. So we're going to kind of go over some of the conspiracy theories we got from friends, along with some other ones that we saw that we feel are worthy of being discussed. And the first one that I would like to bring
Can
up.
I start with my list?
Yes, of course. Start with your
Because
list.
I did a little bit of list. Okay, so Avril Lavigne is actually dead, and her doppelganger Melissa is the one currently touring. First of all, I love this
I
because
have heard that.
it reminds me of things like the Village People, where they just replace people and nobody
Yes.
gives a shit.
Or Menudo.
Yeah, nobody gives a shit. So it could be entirely plausible.
Instead of Skater Boy, it's Surfboard Dude.
Right. Like
He was a surfboard dude.
he was a checkerboard dude.
He was a sailboat gentleman.
I'm like, that's kind of
God.
fun though. Like to
It's
keep
like
the
Paul
legacy
McCartney.
alive. I mean,
Do you have Paul McCartney on
that's
your
on
list?
the list? Yes. How about mattress stores or covers for the mob? All right, I'm sorry. Mattress stores are just covers for the mob. Is basically another one that they're fond of, basically. So I guess they're thinking that mattress stores don't exist and they just use it to launder money. I haven't heard anything
As
like that.
someone
but
who purchased a very expensive mattress 4 years ago
from a store?
from a store.
Oh, I got mine from Amazon.
Oh no, this is from like Mattress One, Mattress Giant, Mattress Depot. It was one of the mattress places. I bought a mattress and there was no mafia involvement.
Are you sure?
I'm
How much
positive.
did you pay for it?
A lot of money.
Yeah, and how much was it actually worth?
I don't know.
See, there you go. You
You
don't
gotta pay good money to
know.
sleep. We're old. We cannot sleep. I remember at one point when I lived in California, like I slept on a comforter because I didn't have a bed. And I did have an air mattress, but
It would
had
deflate by
holes
the
in it.
end of the
Yes.
night. I had
So
the same problem
slept
when
on
I
a
first moved here.
comforter, and I was completely fine. I was like, I'm so happy. Listen, if I slept on a comforter now at my age,
We'd be dead.
oh, 1,000,000%. Call
Like,
Woodlawn. Put Woodlawn on the phone.
Somebody's gonna have to put like metal things in my back to be able to walk again.
Okay.
Another one. The royal
FDR.
family had Princess Diana murdered.
I had this on my list
which
because
I can believe this as well.
I kind of believe it because, so
She
the
was
whole-
outspoken. She's like,
she was.
I want to be for the people, and
And
she might have
she-
had that affair that.
She didn't have an affair. Charles had an affair with Camilla.
Well, I'm just saying that the ginger boy looks exactly like what the tennis coach looked like.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
they look a lot.
But I'm telling
like-
you, karma is real because look at William and look at Harry. Now, when they were younger, William could get it. But have you seen William lately?
I mean, ma'am, I'm also aging, so
no,
before
oh my God, you have your hair. You have your hair.
some of it.
William's got no hair.
He's also a little bit older than me.
Like a year. He might
Maybe.
be the same age as us.
I don't know.
Hold on. Now I gotta look.
Okay, now
Stand
we have
by.
to go down the list.
But I fully believe that. And then also they said that it's a rumor or conspiracy theory because she was about to get married to Dodi Al-Fayed, or they were in a relationship, and the royal family did not want someone of, I can't remember where he was from, but they essentially were like, no, he can't be a part of the royal family, or he can't
Oh,
be.
I haven't heard that. part.
Yeah, and they arranged for the car accident to happen, which if they did that karma, hold on. How old is Prince William? We're asking my reliable old phone. He's 40. He's born in 1982. So
Oh, so he's a
not-
real. Oh God. Okay, so
Yeah.
my hair was a little better. What are your thoughts on Princess Kate being absent? I mean, it came out that she has cancer and she was getting treatment.
Yes,
Do you
which
believe it or
is-
do you not?
I don't know. It's all so, like, the royal family to me is so fascinating because it's just so weird. It's like, can you imagine if we had that in America? Like, here's King.
We do. It's called the Kardashians, where everything is
No,
fabricated.
because
and you only
I
see what
love.
they want.
Listen, y'all. I will say this on a hill with a big old flag. I love the Kardashians.
And it's time to wrap up this episode because I have to find a new co-host.
Do I think they should be as wealthy as they are? No. Do I think they're weird people? They're so weird. But they fascinate me, and Kim actually does good stuff for people.
I know
who
she
are-
got her law degree and she's getting people out
Yes,
of.
so
and
she uses it for
I've given
good.
her a pass.
Yes. But the royal family is just so antiquated and weird, and all of these people, apparently, I don't want to say they were because it's not confirmed, whatever. But, they were also not very nice to Meghan Markle. And
oh, no, I heard they were awful to her.
Yeah.
Because she might have been a person of color.
Yeah. So I could see where they made arrangements for Diana to, have that happen. I feel like, do you think they meant to kill her? Or do you think they meant to just kind of run her off the road to scare her?
I feel like they wanted to get the job done.
Probably, yeah.
Honestly,
yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But
scaring her wouldn't have stopped her because she,
No.
even during the AIDS epidemic, she went out there and talked to all those people and held their hands and hugged them and was with them. And
Back
was
when it was
not
like,
afraid.
yeah, back when it was
Before
like,
it was
not
like
a thing.
it's a death sentence.
Yep.
She was like, no, I'm gonna be here with you.
Yeah,
So
she
she
was great.
wasn't scared.
And also, it's weird to think about that she was 36 when she died, I think. She was young. And, in my head, I always thought she was...
looks 66.
Well, wouldn't you
Back
look
when
like
I was
it?
young, yes.
Wouldn't you look at if you had the royal, I can't imagine, poor thing. She was just... I feel like she and I would have really gotten along. I feel like she would have been, one of our gang.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Especially give her some wine, she would have been, turn.
She, we can invite her. Where's the Ouija board?
Oh, my God. I started Spare, the Prince Harry book, and I got a quarter of the way through it. I couldn't do it anymore. Audiobooks have to be really...
Who was
He narrated it. Yeah, and it was just so I still have it.
I don't expect him to be somebody who's very provoking.
Hello, I'm
Right,
Harry.
so you say my mom then, when she was in a
Oh,
limousine.
God. So so Princess Diana. So can I share two of mine that
Oh, I still have a list too.
I have a list also.
Right,
I wonder
well,
if we have
let's
some of the
go.
same.
Let's-
You already talked about the royal family. We talked about Jennifer Kissy. Titanic. So, I was telling a colleague of mine, hey Stephanie, or not telling, she sent me a TikTok the other day because she's like, I know you're doing this conspiracy theory podcast. Look at this. And it was a TikTok video talking about the Titanic sinking. And there's all of these conspiracy theories about the Titanic sinking, which are fascinating. So in this video, it focused on the fact that, conspiracy theory, that I think it was JP Morgan, had something to do with the ship. Titanic had a twin called the Olympic or something.
Finance or something.
It was something like that.
right?
But he knew that John Jacob Astor, Strauss, the Macy's guy, and someone else, he knew they were all going to be on Titanic. And so he apparently made arrangements or did something for the boat to sink, knowing that all of these three powerful financiers were going to be on the boat and it was going to sink. And that's a big risk because what if they survive?
So he put an iceberg out? What?
That's a
How would it
great
happen?
question.
How would you plan that?
Well, I mean, there's no picture
Unless
of the iceberg.
Well, no, but there's
How do
pictures
they
of
know?
destruction.
Yeah, that's true.
So
Yeah.
did he disable something in order?
I
to,
don't know. That's a good question because now that you're using logic, I'm
Oh God, fuck logic.
But the other conspiracy theory, which is interesting, is that a solar flare caused basically a radio interruption, even though it was at night, I guess, whatever. So anyway, a solar flare caused a disruption in communication, and it just so happened to be when the iceberg was in view, and so they couldn't get signals that an iceberg was in the way, so a solar flare caused the Titanic to sink.
Yeah.
That's what they say.
Right.
Yes.
Yes. Also, the eclipse brought the rapture. That's another one that just recently happened.
And also, let me tell all of you something, and yes, I'm addressing the audience right now. I do not feel bad for those people that went down the submarine because they made the choice to do it and pay all that money. And I know for me, one thing
And
about me-
against better judgment. That's the part.
Yeah,
Against better judgment.
Yeah, it's if I had paid all that money and they're like, here, first of all, I would have done all my research because I have severe
Anxiety.
I have anxiety, so I research everything. So if I had seen that this thing I just paid however much money for was literally a tin can with an Xbox controller, I would have been like, no, run me my money back. Please, give it to me.
I prefer an Atari controller.
Can you? There is literally nothing on this planet. I think the only thing, no, I don't even think that. If somebody came to you and said, Stephen, all of your bills are paid, plus you get an extra $5 million, but you got to go down in that tin can.
How much do I hate fish, Heather? Why the fuck would I get in that water?
But what if all your bills were paid forever?
I would rather pay my bills
I know,
than be
same.
around fucking fish.
Literally same. I don't even care about the fish. I just don't want to go down in a tin can. Like,
No.
it just makes no sense.
No.
It makes none.
Mm-mm.
Sorry, guys. And so many people got mad at me when I posted on Facebook. Listen, the only person I felt bad for was the kid who went to make his dad happy. I feel
Yeah.
awful for that. Everyone else, you knew what you got into. That's like going bungee jumping without a cord and saying, "Oh, I didn't know the cord was gonna." You're whatever. I know people are probably gonna be mad.
Anyway,
Whatever.
let's
Okay.
move on before we
Yes.
hurt people. Brittany.
Oh my God, where do we start with? I have Brittany on my list too. What's your Brittany? And I'll tell you mine.
Well, just in general, like there is so much to happen right now. Like,
Yeah, so the one that I thought for a long time was that she had a lobotomy, because if you look at how she was in like our late twilight teenage years, so like 1999, 2000, she was so bubbly and effervescent, and there was this aura about her that made that's why she was so immensely popular, because she was relatable and she would dance with confidence. And then literally, everything happened with her kids, blah, blah, blah. And now it's almost like she's a robot, and it's very, it lines up with, not that I don't know anyone who's had a lobotomy, but I went through this phase where I was really fascinated with like psychosurgery and like these antiquated ways they used to handle mental illness. So like ECT, electric convulsion therapy, ice baths. And I read a whole book about Walter Freeman, who was like the father of the lobotomy. And it's really good. And there's always been this rumor about her having a lobotomy. And sometimes I'm like, based on some of her behavior, I think so. But I mean, at the end of the day, I think ultimately she was dealt a shit hand in life. And it is, if you went through something like that, you would have a mental breakdown and never be the same again.
Do you know what it reminds me of when you said that?
What?
The movie Sucker Punch.
Oh, yeah.
So that's immediately, I was like, what is it? Sing me to sleep.
Yeah, lobotomy.
Like, oh
or
my
like
God.
Return to Oz. Dorothy got, I can't remember if she did or not, but I know that they had her on the table getting electroshock therapy. And that was the first time I ever saw it as a kid. And I was like,
Jesus.
what is that?
Good.
Does that happen when I'm bad?
Good morning.
Ugh.
I want to go through a couple of the other ones that other people posted that had funny things.
Ooh, okay.
That Universal Custodial staff member power washed the Berlin Wall.
We're moving past that one.
Have you heard that? Have you heard that?
I had never heard that one
So
before.
I have never heard that before,
Yes.
but it came up from
Yes.
or Facebook, and so I started researching. I can't find any pics where it looks
Me
any different.
Neither, but I will say that there was a rumor for a long time, because I knew people who worked at Hard Rock. And if
That
you
wasn't
go
a Twitch.
if you go to the Hard Rock Cafe in Orlando, on the second floor, so if you go up the stairs, you get to the top, if you make a right where the bathrooms are and you go all the way down the end of the hallway, they have what's called the Lennon Room. And the Lennon Room is used
Beautiful.
for
I've been
VIP. Yeah, it's so cool.
I went to a baby shower up there once.
Yes, I've been to multiple parties and things up there. So the Lennon Room, for those who don't know, and if you're listening to this podcast and you have a trip to Orlando planned, if you go to City Walk, go to the Lennon Room at Hard Rock. It's really cool.
If you can get in.
If you can get in, just ask
I
the
mean,
host.
sometimes when it's concert time, it's
Yes,
used
you
as
can't
a
go in.
VIP. But
But there was a rumor that it was like the ghost of somebody who died like in that vicinity at Universal, something like that. And you would feel things in the room and all these things. So like we would all dare each other to go in the Lennon Room. Like when the restaurant was closed, you'd be like, go sit in there.
oh, see, I never
never
felt
did.
any of that. I would have done that in a heartbeat.
Yeah, no, that was when
I'm
now.
the one in St. Augustine that went to Scarlett O'Hara's going, here goes
Here
Ghost. Where are you?
Yeah, so that one about the power washing the Berlin Wall, I don't think that's been solidified.
So we covered Jennifer Kesse. Now
Yes.
this one you're going to hate
Oh, God.
because it's submitted by your husband.
Oh,
The
no,
infamous
we
dropped ball at the end of the League of Their Own. Where do you stand?
Hold on.
Where do you
I
stand?
had to take some wine for this. So, Jason is off today, and I almost invited him to come over to be our guest. And he was like, great, I can talk about a League of Our Own. And I was like, nope, never mind. I'm going by myself.
No way.
So, let me tell you something, dear listeners. And if you're a close friend of mine, you've seen this argument on Facebook
Constantly.
multiple times. So, A League of Their Own. Incredible movie. It's one of my favorites. Probably like top 3 of all time. So,
This used to be.
I
my
have seen A League of Their
playground.
Own literally more times than I can count, like at least over 200 times, if not more. Like I know
I'm close to that.
you can mute that movie and I could literally provide the soundtrack. Shout out to Grace and Tia, who are my League of Their Own sisters. We always quote it. So anyway, towards the end of the movie, World Series, the Bells versus the Peaches. So when it gets to the scene where Kit is coming home and they're all yelling blah blah, blah, and Dottie is like, oh shit, she's coming home, and they collide, you see the ball roll out of the hand. So my husband thinks she let go of the ball on purpose. I don't think that. No, I'm sorry. He thinks it was an accident.
Oh.
I think she did it on purpose because she wanted her sister
To
to
succeed.
have her moment in the sun, because Dottie did not even want to be a Rockford Peach or
No.
a baseball player in the first
She
place.
wanted to be gone. I'm with
She
you.
wanted to be a mom. She wanted to hang out with Bob. And Kit was the one that wanted to be a baseball player. So, if you have a sibling, sometimes you got to take one for the team. And Jason's argument is, oh, well, why'd she let all the girls down? Why'd she blah, blah? Because at the end of the day, when it comes to your family, like the team, yes, she had a connection with them. It was great. But it's a team. It's not like her family. So she wanted her sister. And you can tell that she did it on purpose, because when they're all watching Kit being lifted up, she has this smile on her
A
face.
smirk, yeah.
It is just this heartwarming, like, my kid sister did it. So I fully believe she did it on purpose, because also they planted seeds the whole time. You saw her like catch the ball fast from Rosie O'Donnell. You saw her do the split into the dugout.
She was
So
unstoppable.
they purposely were showing that she could catch a ball in any circumstance except that. So it's that, to me, I'm like, why do they have her sliding? Why do they ever doing this? It's because they want you as the audience to say, oh my gosh, like,
She's perfect.
correct. So she did it on purpose. Nobody can tell me otherwise. Jason will believe until he's blue in the face that it was an accident. It was not an accident. And I can't believe you read that out loud.
Oh my God.
Whatever.
Okay, Marilyn Monroe was murdered by the CIA. Have you heard about that?
Yes, because of her ties to John F. Kennedy.
Okay.
Which, do you have John F. Kennedy on your list?
I do not.
What? That was
Do
going
not.
to be
I thought
one
that
of the
was an
ones.
easy one, so I skipped over
It is. And like with JFK, I've always, even when I was a kid, I remember learning about it in school, and I was like, there's no way that one person in a repository all the way, and I know they say he was in the military, whatever, but there's no way that a person in a repository did 2 direct shots to the head from all the way, like, across the thing. It was the CIA, whatever. We're probably both going to be shot after this podcast.
I don't believe anything Heather says out loud. Actually, I'm ready to go. Let's go. I don't care.
Oh my God. But yeah, it's just, I've watched so many documentaries about the Kennedy assassination, because it's just so, again, it's just very fascinating to me, and there's just no way. And for those of you who are curiously morbid, like I can be on some days I'm like, I don't want to look at this. If you go to YouTube, they have the Zapruder film, because I think the guy who filmed it or got it on camera is named Zapruder. That's why they call it that. And you can see the assassination, because typically when they show it on like TV or whatever,
It's kind of blurred
it's
out.
blurred. This one shows close up, and it is so
I've seen it.
graphic. It is
I've seen it.
awful. And like, I don't even know what I would have done if I was Jackie Kennedy. I don't even know. Like, the fact that she was able to be composed like she was.
Oh, she
like,
went reaching for the head in
yeah.
the pieces. Like,
No.
oh. Okay,
But-
here's another one that I have never heard of before, and it was
Okay.
on the Facebook list, is that there's a secret bunker under the Denver airport.
I've heard that multiple
Now,
times.
I've got a couple of bullet points on here.
Have you been to the Denver airport?
No.
I've been once.
No, I
I've
have
been
not.
once, yes.
One of the most pervasive legends about the airport is that it was built by members of a secret society. They don't know if it was the Freemasons, the Illuminati, or the New World Order.
Like wrestling? NWO?
Basically, NWO, baby. The most persuasive piece of evidence is from a theory-dedicated capstone at the airport's south entrance dated.
The horse?
Yeah, it's dated March 19th, 1984, sealed beneath the stone, and time capsule containing the messages and memorabilia of people in Colorado for basically 2094.
And also, did you know somebody died?
I don't think I got there.
So there is, the Denver airport's famous for having, I'm assuming it's a Bronco, because that's their football Denver Broncos. Yeah, the football team. The
Sure.
their football team's called the Broncos. So it's like this horse statue that's at the airport. And apparently the guy who sculpted or whatever, like a piece of it fell on him or something and he died. And I went to LA in 2019 to see Casey Musgraves. And I had a layover at the Denver airport. And I was so mad because the layover was only like an hour because I wanted to go on this whole hunt for the horse
Oh
and like
my
find things.
God.
And I was like, I have an hour.
Oh my God. There is another theory that there is a braille tablet above the dedication stone that is actual keypad. And so there's been literally people who have been like trying to swipe cards to try to get it to open,
Oh,
which
I
I
bet-
thought was entertaining.
Interesting. If
How-
you live in Denver and you've seen any of this weird shit, like, please let us know.
Like, how far underground can it possibly go?
I don't know.
Like, somebody would have said something by now. One time, a guy on the internet, it literally says this in my notes. One time, a guy on the internet said, there is no Mandela effect. The government is just trying to see how much of the past they can erase and get away with it.
Oh, like
I was-
Shazam?
Like,
Wait,
kind
is
of
it
like
Kazam or Shazam?
Berenstein Bears.
Yeah.
Like, it went, I watched this poor guy on a YouTube, and he made no sense whatsoever. He was just batshit crazy. And
Or like
I
Fruit of the
wish-
Loom. Apparently, like Fruit of the Loom, they say that there was no cornucopia. It was just the fruit.
No, I remember the
There was a
cornucopia. There was
cornucopia
a cornucopia.
faux show. Or like, what is the movie with Sinbad? Is it Kazam or Shazam?
There is a Kazam and there is a Shazam.
Which
but
one is
Shazam
which?
the most recent one. Kazam is
Which one is
should have been the
Shaq?
old one. It should be Kazam,
Hold on,
right?
now I gotta look.
Because Shazam was the one that was done by, oh God, what movie studio recently? Because they had Shazam 2, where the brothers and sisters all became Kazam.
Kazam.
Yeah, Kazam.
I swear I remember Kazam. I swear I remember seeing like a
As
poster or
Shazam?
something from it. No, like Sinbad as the genie. I swear I remember it.
Yeah,
I'm not
that's
just
right
saying
though,
that.
right?
No, it's okay.
Wait, no.
Oh,
what
why
you
didn't we talk about that? That
Wait,
would have
no,
been a good one.
no. What do
Okay,
you? What
so-
you just pull up?
So there were two genie movies. There was Shazam with Shaq, and then everybody swears that there was a movie with Sinbad as a genie called Kazam.
Right.
But there is no record of this movie anywhere. I cannot believe we've talked about this before.
Sinbad, if you're listening, we need you to call in, bud. Clear this up for us.
Yeah, it's like do you remember it?
I remember vaguely.
Me too. And they claim it never was made. And I feel like they're trying to pull the wool over us. Because I'm like,
Again, that goes to the Mandela effect.
I
like,
know, there's
oh,
that,
We're trying
there's-
to see what we can make you forget.
there's Fruit of the Loom. And then there's another big one too. And I can't remember what it is. But yeah.
Here's another one.
Yes.
Long John Silver's is a money laundering front for the cornbread mafia.
What is the cornbread? Is that Taylor Swift fans?
No.
The cornbread mafia?
So, hold on. Oh, I thought I took up way more notes on this.
the cornbread mafia.
But basically, it was this guy who had this restaurant that wasn't doing well. And then some guy who was growing pot says, we're going to help you and support you and help launder money through your accounts. Because the guy was like, you've never seen a busy Long John Silver's, have you? And I'm like, no, I've only probably ever seen 2 Long John Silver's in my entire life, be honest.
I can't, like, Long John Silver's is just not.
It's not food.
I love seafood. I fucking love seafood. But Long John Silver's is pretty gross. But I still like cornbread mafia's Taylor Swift.
Oh my God, that's basically. Have you ever heard of this? The theory that the world ended in 2012. Yeah.
No.
There's
if
a whole
it did, I want a
theory
refund.
that we are just existing on a
Like in a
plane.
Matrix?
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I always disassociate.
Hold
Hold on, let me look at some of mine. I had some good ones. Let's see. Oh, the Lindbergh baby.
Oh God, yes.
We're going to take it back, y'all. We're going to take it back to
to our childhood
the year.
when we were in daycare
the
with
year
the
I was
Lernberg
born.
baby.
So,
We remember him at nap time.
right. Okay. So everybody knows about the Lindbergh baby. He was kidnapped. They found him deceased. It's horrible. So, and then
Did they find him
Yeah,
eventually?
they found him.
I thought they never.
They
found
found
him.
the baby and they blamed this guy. His name was Bruno Kauf, something like that. And they essentially tied his DNA to this ladder that was by the window. And I believe they
Wait,
executed him.
I'm sorry. His DNA.
Yeah, like he
What
climbed the
year
ladder,
was
like his
this?
footprints. Footprints.
Because DNA didn't start happening until like the 80s.
I don't know. They like dusted or something. I don't know. They did something where they knew it was something tied to the ladder. And so this German man was executed for the kidnapping of the baby. But there's always been this rumor.
Why wasn't that baby like actually like Boss Baby, and he was on a mission and he went out in his little tuxedo to do some shit, and they were like, where did he go? But he's clearly living in the clouds telling other babies what to do. Is that not a thing?
It's not.
Are you sure
So-
that's not where Boss Baby came from?
So the rumor is that Lindbergh was not the greatest guy. And he, you know, like, yes, he had the first, I think it was like transatlantic flight, like Lucky Lindy. And so he was like this American.
Yeah, Lindy.
They say it in All That Jazz. Come on, babe, we're gonna bust the sky. Bet you Lucky Lindy never flew so high up in the stratosphere.
Oh.
Anyway, Broadway. That person is driving a golf cart in your neighborhood.
That doesn't surprise me.
Oh, I've never
Because
seen a
there's
golf cart.
also peacocks out there, and then
Is that
bunch
a child driving the golf cart?
Probably.
It is a.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that is a whole.
You know, my little brother had a golf cart growing up.
That was a whole.
Like, he was like 10, had one. And then I'll never forget one time I stole it from him, and I was driving it down the street, and he was chasing me, and I jumped out of it, and it went into a ditch and hit a tree, and then I just kept running.
Well, that was just, we literally just saw a child driving a golf cart, so there's that.
I don't know how that's
Anyway,
shocking.
so the rumor was that because Charles Lindbergh's baby wasn't perfect in his eyes, I guess the baby had, I don't know if it was like walking, just something happened, that he was the one that was behind the kidnapping and the subsequent infanticide, as they like to say, of the baby, which, based on what I have now learned as an adult about Charles Lindbergh, oh.
The peacocks
Is
agree
that
with
the
you.
ghost of
She
Charles
said,
Lindbergh?
"Ow!"
Oh, it sounded like my cat. But anyway, so yeah, there's a conspiracy theory that Charles Lindbergh was behind the kidnapping of his little baby.
I mean,
Little
Casey
baby.
Anthony prequel.
But there's really no conspiracy theories of Casey Anthony. It's pretty cut and paste.
No,
pretty
there's
cut and
nothing
paste.
conspiracy
Yeah.
about that.
No.
Unless she's blaming who the baby daddy is. That's conspiracy.
Oh, I got a big one. You go, and then I'll go about my big one.
My last one
Yes.
is going to be stupid.
Oh God, what?
That pigeons aren't real because you've never seen a baby pigeon.
Yeah.
The only baby pigeons I've ever seen are on Animaniacs when the 3 good feathers were children.
I've never seen. Have you ever seen a baby hawk?
Yeah.
Okay. Have
Because
you ever
there's
seen
that
a
whole
baby-
thing where birds aren't real,
I've
right?
yes, apparently
But clearly
pigeons-
birds are real.
pigeons
They're
are
in my
sent
yard
by
right
the
now.
government, but you never know. They might have cameras in them. I don't know.
What kind of Wi-Fi are they getting that
I don't know.
get?
That's what they're saying is that the government puts
Who's
out.
funding them?
But-
They're literally dying in my yard.
But when you say there's pigeons that aren't real, what are they then?
Well, I don't know. It's not my conspiracy theory. I think people think that they're cameras and that they're like watching people and like observing and like,
Yeah,
that's
please.
not like, oh, that's a camera. That's not a real bird.
There
Like,
was a bird staring
have
at me.
you ever hit a bird with
yesterday.
a car? Because trust me, they're real
Oh yeah, I have.
and it's upsetting.
Little white cranes. Like, sorry guys,
Oh my god.
they're everywhere.
I had finches growing up. Like I wanted birds so bad, and then
Ew.
they would escape from the cage and they would just into that window. And
No.
I
That
guess their
happened-
camera stopped working then.
That happened to me when my very first apartment I lived in once I moved out of home. It was like a Saturday morning and I was like hungover in bed. I had the whole day to sleep in. I was so excited. And at like 8:00 in the morning, I hear this crash of the window in my room. And I thought somebody had like thrown something through the window. And I was like, oh shit, we're about to get like robbed. And it was a bird. A bird had flown into my window and like died on the floor. And so I start
No.
panicking and my roommate starts panicking and we're like, what are we gonna do? And like my roommate's boyfriend at the time, we're like, can you get the bird, please?
What kind of bird?
It was like a little like just like sparrow. Just
So a little guy.
You've never been to a grocery store and seen a bird going in the window?
I've seen plenty of birds going to windows.
I feel like every time I see it, it's at the grocery store. And like they get in the store somehow through the doors and they think the window is out and they're like, doom. There was one time at Publix, there was a whole crowd because this bird just kept going doom, doom into the window. I'm like, are y'all not going to help? I mean, you can't
How are
really
you going to
help
help them? Trust me, I've tried.
Go this way.
They don't listen to me. I'm like,
Right.
let me love you. I'm trying to help you.
My
I
gosh.
literally have birds on my arm. Listen to me.
Okay, so
What's your last one?
yeah, my last one is the big one. So this is one that I I kind of refrain from talking about this online because people get very upset when I talk about
so
this.
let's publish it.
I know. And this is one that when I tell my husband, he actually is like, yeah, I could see that. And that conspiracy theory is, and trust me, I believe in all things science, and I know that we've done all of these incredible things. However, I do not think that we ever went to the moon. I don't think we did it. I don't. Because, and I know you guys are going to be like, ugh,
Why?
I landed on the moon. I was in a rocket. Listen, okay. So if you think about 1969, like you could barely make a long distance telephone call. There were still like 4 channels on TV, like technologically.
Okay, so I see what you're saying, but
Yes.
the government has had the internet way longer than we ever
That
did.
is true.
So they had technology a lot longer than we have. Haven't you ever seen Hidden Figures? No. The movie Hidden Figures?
No. I know. Take my
Bish.
black card. Take it. Just take
I'm taking it.
Take
You are
I haven't seen it. I'm going to
Caucasian.
put it on my list.
Oh my God, it's amazing.
I know. I want to see it.
And it's talking about getting to space and in space without having to use technology, but using calculations for somebody who knows how to use math very well.
But that's going into space. I'm talking about landing on the moon and then broadcasting it live on television.
What's the difference?
Okay. It was 1969. Why have we not been back to the moon since, I think 1972 was the last time we went?
I thought we were there recently.
No. There hasn't been a man
Google it.
who landed on the moon.
Not a man, but we've been
No.
there.
I'm talking about humans.
No, but we've been there with like
Yes,
robotics
we have been
and
there.
whatnot.
Oh, I will never deny that. We
So
have been there with
how-
robots.
How are humans not there, but robotics are?
That's what I'm saying. Hold on. When was the last time a human landed on the moon?
Mm-hmm.
1972. I was correct.
1972.
I did research.
But also, there's nothing there for us to look at again. So
yeah, but it's like all of these things, and the big rumor is that it was on a sound stage, and
Allegedly.
it was filmed and all of this stuff. I just don't think we have the. Yes, the government does have stuff before we do, and NASA has stuff before we do. I just feel like it was the height of the space race. You know, Russia had kind of beat us. I think like. There was
So
another
do you
country.
think Russia got there? Do you think anybody got there?
I
you
don't know
think
if Russia, to be
anybody?
honest, I don't know if Russia broadcasted. I did not do my research that deep. But like, it's again, a live broadcast from space in 1969. Just, I don't know. It's just never
I mean,
been.
think about it. It wasn't like it was in 4K.
No, but it's still.
Like, they had ways to make video happen.
Yeah, it was called a movie. Have you
Oh
not
my
seen The
God.
Wizard of Oz?
I have not. What is it about?
They created a whole world for The
Did
Wizard of
it?
Oz. So they could create a whole world for
Is
them.
it the same thing where the guy hung himself in the tree, but it
Oh
actually
my
was
God,
a bird?
Oh, we didn't talk about that, or like
We
the three
didn't.
men and a baby ghost.
Yeah.
Oh
my God, we should do movie conspiracies one time.
Oh, we should.
Speaking of which, what is our next episode? We have it planned out.
Our next episode
is it?
episode. I like to just put
Episode.
vowels and things. Our next episode is
Is
about
it Drag Race?
Yes,
or
it
is
is.
it
It's Drag Race.
Orlando.
No, it's RuPaul's Drag
Oh,
Race.
RuPaul's Drag.
Eh.
RuPaul's Drag Race.
Start your engine. So we're gonna RuPaul's Drag Race. That's a very like broad
Very
topic,
broad.
but we're gonna get into like who our favorite queens are. We'll make a list.
Maybe
we'll do our
favorite queens, favorite challenges,
yeah, favorite snatch
upsets,
game.
things like that.
Who we would do on the snatch game?
Things that were done wrong.
Yeah,
like
I already
who were
know.
people who were wronged.
Yes,
should
I already
say.
know who I would be on the snatch game.
Who would you? No, save it.
Yeah, we'll save it
We
for
can't
next
do it
week.
now. I would be Heather Abood.
I would be Steven Johnson.
We're both gonna lose.
Anyway, that was conspiracy theories. We covered a lot of ground.
Oh, God, so many.
Yeah, and I feel like there's so many more we didn't.
We can do a
don't-
two-parter. We
I
can do another
know,
parter
we
later
could,
down the
yes,
road.
but we did not get to, and we don't obviously have to dive deep into these. But some of the ones that I also had on my list were aliens built the pyramids,
Yeah.
which I kind of believe. And then hold on, really quick, pyramids. So I saw something on TikTok where somebody was like, what if the pyramids were like the Washington Monument, where you know how you see the top of the pyramid, it's like the triangle shape.
Mm-hmm.
What if it was like buried in the sand?
We would have found that already. People already been down there. Like, hello, have you not seen X-Men Apocalypse?
Next thing you're gonna tell me Santa's not real. Wait, did that happen in X-Men?
No, well, in X-Men Apocalypse, they like found like an underground part where they were like trying to bring Apocalypse back to life. Anyway, but I also just found recently this movie on Paramount, or not movie, it's a TV series. It's I guess a couple years old now, called Under the Dome on Paramount Plus, and it's basically about this dome. It's sci-fi, so it just showed up out of nowhere. I'm like trapped this whole town in. It kind of gives me that kind of vibes.
Okay. And the other conspiracy theory that I didn't get into was we joked about it last week too when we said we were going to do a conspiracy theory episode. You were like, JonBenet Ramsey.
Oh my God, the brother.
Burke did it. Burke, there's
and
not
the
even.
Parents covered it up.
Oh, they did. That's why Patsy got. So I won't dive into it.
Stand by your son.
I won't get into it, but there is a very weird thing where like when people either hide things or they, do something really inherently wrong, they always end up getting sick. That's like a thing in...
Called karma?
Yes, correct. Yeah. But the mom, passed away. And it's like, that's interesting that she, got sick all of a sudden. Knowing
what was my mom hiding?
Yeah, I know. But yeah, Burke did it. Burke.
I mean, that's so easy.
It was an accident. I guarantee you he did it.
And they were just trying to cover it up.
Yep. And yeah. So
like
poor
how many
JonBenet.
times have we seen something like that?
Oh my God, that was one we didn't talk about. Have you heard the conspiracy theory that obviously, hopefully nobody thinks this, that JonBenet Ramsey is Katy Perry? It's like a whole thing. They did like a side by side, and they're like JonBenet Ramsey's death was faked, and she's really Katy Perry. You've never heard that one?
I'm here for it.
Okay, that's gonna be on part two. Yeah.
'Cause baby, you're a dead baby.
Steven.
No, that was bad. I know.
That was awful.
We should just
Hold on.
ignore
Now
that
I've got to
part.
look it up. Hold on. Stay by.
What the?
Katy Perry, JonBenet Ramsey.
How? What? How? Wait.
Oh, here it is.
The
See?
timeline from that.
Conspiracy theorists claim Katy Perry is actually JonBenet Ramsey, even though she obviously is not.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm actually JonBenet Ramsey,
There's a popular
and this is Maury. I don't.
Oh, JB Ramsey. Anyway, yeah, RuPaul's Drag Race next week. Thank you for all of those who have listened and subscribed.
And continue to listen. Thank you. Tell your friends.
Peacocks are so loud. Anyway, tell your friends. Go to our Instagram at Heather and Steven Get Into, and we have our link tree there, so you can see where we are on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Music, all of the above. But if you have suggestions for us, let us know. What do you want to
we'll
hear?
talk about anything.
Yeah.
Just give us a shout out, an email at
Correct.
Heather and Steven Get Into
at gmail.com. At
gmail.com.
AOL.com. Hotmail.com.
Oh, bitch. You had to get your
Excite.com.
160 hours free before you can email us on AOL.com.
Oh my God. I had so many AOL usernames
It was
because
oh my God.
my parents would not pay for AOL. They're like, we had like some random, I can't remember the name of the service we had, but everyone had AOL, and we would just get the discs from like WWF magazine and like create different usernames.
So I got the AOL. And I created my username, and then I just put it on AIM, which was separate from everything else.
Oh, I had AIM
and so I was
forever.
able to keep it. So I still had
Ever.
my CSAJ6 for the longest time, and it's probably still up.
I was going to say, I feel like we might have talked on AIM because that name
No.
sounds super. You don't think so?
My name at the time was Casper Stephen Arthur Johnson VI.
My AIM. So, like you had AOL, and then I had AIM, God, for eons, since it was a separate free entity, and my name on AIM was A Diva's Life 4, like the number 4 me. A Diva's Life 4 me.
A Diva's Life for me.
Anyway,
Shocking.
thank you for watching.
Thank you
guys
for
are the best.
listening.
I don't know why that's like such a dad wave. Like,
I've never seen a dad wave like that. It'd be more
hey,
like
that's a neighbor wave. Like, hey, we
two
were-
fingers. It's like the Jeep wave. 2 fingers up from the steering wheel. Bye.
Oh, you do that?
It's Jeep wave. Anytime you see a Jeep, you have to wave to it.
Oh, I
Yeah.
should do that with Kia.
I
Soul.
have well, I'm sure it's a thing. It was
Yeah.
also when I had like a moped. Everybody with
Oh.
2 wheels always waved at me.
I
now
do see that
they're-
on the road, but people have motorcycles. Like when they cross, I'll see them
Yeah.
do like a little head thing. It's very sweet.
But I'm even part of the Jeep Wave Club.
oh,
That it's like a whole thing, and then I get ducked a lot too. It's just a whole.
I
thing.
know about the duck piece.
I
Yeah.
get- it's a
So,
whole thing. It's
yes.
a whole. That's a whole nother episode.
But anyway, bye. Is that
was-
how we say goodbye?
No, we could just say bye.
Bye.
Till next time.
Goodbye.
Keep getting into
Yes.
things.
That's it.
What?
I don't know. Did we have a proper exit? No.
All right, mate.
Hello,
Time to get out of here.
cheerio.
Let's get another glass of wine.
That's it. Bye.
That's it. That's it. Let's get another glass of wine.
That's 7:30.
Heather.
That's Steven.
Let's get into
it. Oh. Take two. Here we go. I'm ready. I got this.